What's happening? It's Mark T here, and I'm having another conversation with someone who's very important to me, someone who actually was with me when I actually started building out the physical infrastructure or the physical beginning of the No Backboard Basketball League effort. And that's my brother from another mother, Mr. James
What's
B.
up,
Wright.
Mark T?
What's up, James?
It's all good, baby. You hoops.
So potentially millions of people will see this eventually. So
Right.
the first thing I would like to do is just introduce you.
Okay. James Wright. How y'all doing?
Where you from, James?
From Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Been out in Arizona since 2000. Met Mark in college, actually at a entrepreneurship school, Azusa World Ministries. So that's how we met, and that's how he introduced Peach Basket Development at the time with his concept with no backboard basketball.
So what brought you to Arizona?
Well, it was all God, man. Just another brother in the hood on the block doing stuff I ain't had no business doing. So God said, look, I need to relocate you so I can get you into a desert land so I can speak to you and tell you what your purpose was. But not only knowing my purpose of the business I got, but Mark's business is part of my purpose as well. So I believe that's part of it.
Yeah, so we met in church, and then the church we were attending at the time, Azusa World Ministry, Dr. Alfred Craig, who's known as an excellent teacher, and over the years have had various versions of his ministry Ministry Training Institute, MTI. He had opened up a business school to marry biblical faith with basic business principles.
Yeah.
And that's how we first met. So, and at that time that we met, the concept was still on paper. So there was no real physical manifestation. And even though I have been to college and I've had other training, I do believe in education, and particularly sharpening the sword in the direction you want to go. So we did the ABI, Azusa Business Institute.
Yep.
And so when you first heard about the concept of no basketball, because though I don't think you actually played school ball, you were still a hooper as a young person and a young adult.
Me and Mark really met. So when we was in school, we had to write a business plan. In order to graduate, we had to have a business plan. And so at the time, they had just got this new software. And I'm not a tech guy. You know, Mark is a tech dude. So I said, Mark said, I tell you what, he said, man, I'll help you with your business plan if you help me with my business. I said, cool, whatever. So I asked him, what it is. He told me, he said, I'm thinking of starting a sport and a training tool called Basketball, the Remix at the time. And it won't be no backboard. So I'm like, okay. I wasn't getting the concept, but I didn't get the concept until we actually went and took some rims and made our first prototype. And when I shot on the rim, then that showed me that was the difference of having a backboard and no backboard, knowing that now your shot has to be more arch on it, but also you have to have a focus. And that's what I came started believing in it. And from there, it just took off from there, man.
So what year you think that was?
So if I got here in 2000, it had to be like 2002.
That makes sense because
I didn't come to Azusa. I got here in 2000. Yeah, I didn't get to Azusa until about a year later.
Okay.
Yeah. So it had to be about 2002 because the school didn't start until a year later after I got
2003.
So about 2002.
Right. So we had graduated.
Yep.
And then after we had graduated, I had developed our first prototype.
Yep.
Right. That first prototype.
Yeah. So let me tell that story now. And that's what I love about him, man. He's always stayed on top of it. He's never veered away from the vision. So what he did was he went and got, the regular hoops kids play with in the neighborhood. He went and got one of those.
From like Costco.
From Costco. And he went and had it fabricated. And it was a trip for him to take his own money, first of all. He's putting his money in everything he's done. So he went and got that done. As soon as we got the first one done, from there we were just trying to figure different things out on.
Right. Because we got the
extension of it and getting the backboard. So it was a lot of
that came from some trial and error, right? So 2003, we wrap up Azusa. Sometime 2003, maybe early 2004, we wrap up Azusa Business Institute. We go get the hoops. And then the first time we took them out, remember we had our own little, we've always been doing some level of production, right? Because even when it was just maybe 20 guys max, but we had a couple of cameras out there, we had the hoops, we had t-shirts, and we still have some video from that very first, that very first time. And I still like Billy Young's interview from that because I call him the first son of the remix. Haven't seen Billy in a while. Billy, if you see this, reach out, man. We'd love to connect with you. But then we had our first event, February 2005, Black History Month, February 26, 2005. And that's towards the end of the game. I don't know if you remember, that's when Matt went baseline and he dunked it. And there was a few dunks that game. And it didn't break. It didn't, the integrity didn't weaken at the top. It weakened in the pole. Right. So that was like, okay, we need to figure out how to make that adjustment. I think the next hoops we got made.
But before you forget, let me give you the story before that game. So before we had that game, it was that Saturday morning. It was supposed to rain.
Oh, you're going to go there?
Yeah, we got to go there because you got to remember this dude been walking by faith the whole time. So it's supposed to rain that day. You know what me and his brother did? We went and prayed. We pointed to the sky and we told the sky, you're not going to rain until this game is over. Sure enough, it didn't rain. Right after the game was over, and then him got done cleaning up the parking lot and putting everything together, that's when it started raining. So that's we knew that game was a blessing.
I'm going to add some context to that because it wasn't necessarily the day of the game, right? It was, there was a team of us, praise God, Marlo.
Oh, yourself,
I think it was me, you, Marlo were the core. And maybe a month before, 21 days or so before the event, we went on a fast.
Oh yeah.
And then we got the weather report because we already had the date set for a month out.
Right.
Then we got the weather report that it was going to rain maybe a week ahead of time. And then at that time, and you know,
because I forgot about the fast.
Right. And then at that time, I still have crazy faith, but I balanced it. It's still crazy faith, right? But I think I was even more crazy, more stretching the limits of, I don't even think there's no limits to faith.
Because we not only was doing basketball, we had a street ministry.
Yeah. But
so that faith, I think, component, you know, definitely brought in from.
So at the end of the day, we just applied our faith. It was the day started off pretty blue, but by the time we were wrapping up the event, you could see the clouds. And by the time we had packed up everything and we were leaving the parking lot, it was starting to rain. So I know I serve a great God, a good God, and a faithful God, and I do believe God showed up on that day. So. You know, we're going to have a lot of conversations now that we have our own gym and creator hub. So we're going to retrofit this whole gym to be a creator hub, right? Not on the court, off the court. We have really exciting plans for this. So I want to land the plane there. Here's James was there in the beginning. Very first hoop. Very first event, the sandbags, and then all through the years, and now today's the first time he came out today, saw the gym. You're familiar with our new prototype hoops, but then I just told you we bought those hoops and we're going to convert those hoops. So as you sit here now, right, in this space today, we came out early. We moved some stuff from the storage. We did some admin work for about 3 hours in one of the rooms here, shot some content. Now we're wrapping up the day with this conversation. Now that we set your position in the vision early, I'm one of the founding fathers of this effort. What's your thoughts of finally seeing this facility and seeing this manifestation of actually having a home to do No Basketball to Remix in the No Backboard Basketball League?
I'm gonna take a second to think, because when Mark told me about the gym, I still didn't wrap it around my head. I'm still not wrapping around my head. You got to remember, man, this is a vision from 2003. I never thought 20 years down the line that we will have this facility. But one thing I know Mark did speak back then, he kept saying, man, when we get remember, AI and all this wasn't out then. Streaming wasn't out there. He said this 20 years back. He said, look, man, we're going to have a facility. We're going to be able to film. We're going to have content. We're going to have streaming. Now, you got to remember, man, that's prophetic right there, because it wasn't no streaming back then when we was back 20 years ago. And now, 20 years ahead, I'm still trying to wrap it around my head. So it's still going to take me a minute. And then I want to take my hat off to him, where he's asking me to be over his nonprofit. So those are two things I have to wrap my head around, of getting a facility and then being over this position. Because you got to remember, man, and then throughout those 20 years, me and Mark, we were still connecting, kind of just connecting, because we both had personal issues, things to think about. And all of a sudden, probably maybe a year or two ago, I don't know where Mark pops back up on the scene with a whole new face to the game. And I'm like, man, you know, everything done changed. But now, man, I think it's going to be something very positive, man. I think it's going to do very well. But definitely for the players playing under rim, man, I think once you shoot on these rims, I guarantee you things going to change. Your skills going to get better. And then just, like I said, always going to keep this in mind with Mark, man. He walked the whole time and never, ever wavered. Never wavered. He never he used to always say this, and I had to learn this, because he's like, no, J-Dub, I don't want nobody's having my baby nose.
I don't want my baby born with
somebody else's nose. And now I understand what he's saying, because you got to remember, man, he's doing something that's against the norm. A backboard. You know how many cats stiff-armed us when we came out with this? We want to, no, man. Yeah, we got stiff-armed plenty of times. Cats didn't want to listen. So it got to the point, I said, you know what, Mark, man, it's going to be me, you, and God, and that's it. Because, no, seriously, because a lot of cats, man, when you think basketball, they be like, oh, man, no backboard, you know, no. And then another thing that Mark really hasn't shared about himself, this dude studied the game. He studied the game, the history, and I think a lot of players need to understand where the game came from.
That's a fact.
Especially African Americans.
There's so many people who are making money off the game and don't really know the history of the game.
If it wasn't for this cat, I call him my human AI. No, seriously, because to be ordered to study and research, that's a gift. I can't sit no 2 or 3 hours study. This is him, so he's still schooling me on stuff about the game, man. So I'm still getting excited when we got here. I walked through the building, man. We got a classroom. I get to do my classes, so I'm still excited. I'm probably gonna still be on my high for about the next 2 or 3 months. until once we see this gym full, it still's not gonna register. It's gonna take a minute to register, man. You remember, you're talking 20 years, and that's what God told, was it Abraham about his son? He said it was almost 20 years before he had a son, man. So I'm thinking this is how Mark is. It was 20 years. God told him. He kept on. He never wavered his faith. he kept on, and all of a sudden now the baby is here. It's born. So we here.
And I like, if we land the plane on a biblical reference, and one of the reasons I'm doing these type of conversations, and what I'm really excited about is I can't separate my faith, my belief in God, my belief this is my purpose from executing business, and I can't. And what's been one of the hindrances with capital and dealing with your traditional investors is that for 20 years, it's changed the game, changed community. I have put so much content out. You can find me. I'm not hiding.
Yeah.
You can find exactly what this is about. If you choose to take the time and do the research, it is out there. It's all about creating an alternative platform to provide Black and brown individuals specifically, but American basketball families and generally, opportunities to own wealth, creating assets in sports. It is absolutely egregious that African Americans do not have a 20-30% ownership, at least, of the global basketball market. Someone help me make sense of that. And I'll land the plane here, then I'll thank you, James, and give you the closing comments, is that the modern basketball player who is a veteran of my age or younger, and the modern athletes are complicit in the fact that the American basketball player is in the condition they are today. We all have a responsibility to those platforms, those lanes, those institutions that help take our lives to another level to ensure that those stay in place. And they have not done that. And on top of that, they have been resistant to interact with this concept. So I'm going to start being very clear. Traditional basketball at every level has been resistant to embrace an alternative format that's designed to empower the very communities. That same group of complicit athletes are participating in your exploitation, in the extraction of value out of your household without building anything to empower you or the communities, right? This thing that we have here, one of James' favorite songs from the No Backboard Basketball music catalog is Gold Mine. Why? Because that song talks about the history of the Black community and the YMCA and facilities as a central place for the community. Please point to me in any community please point to me a Black-led institution that has a physical location in majority of the communities and making a positive impact. I'll hold. It doesn't exist. But they used to exist. And the only reason they don't exist now because the people who we charged to take those leads are complicit in keeping things the way they are. Right. But the beautiful thing about America as it stands today, if you're willing to put the work in, get your bread up and leverage the laws, you can do what you want. And that's our objective. So with that, we're going to have plenty of these conversations, man. But just like last words on just seeing all of this come together for you today.
Well, the last part of your statement, he said that, quote, change the game, change community. Remember, this was 20 years ago. I didn't even understand what he was really saying. Change the game, change community. Now it makes sense. Because what he's saying is, now it's giving our community opportunity to generate the money, to be able to generate money.
From the sport we love.
From the sport that we love. So that's what we do. We just change the game. Our job is to go into the community and change the community, not just only with sports. We have an education component on the other side as well. So that means not only will they be getting sports educated, they be getting educated on other things, finances, investing, entrepreneurship, life skills.
Our network is strong. We have elite people in financial literacy. We have elite people in personal development. Hey, trust and believe. It's only because I've been around elite people who could pour into me spiritually, mentally, and emotionally and give me tools in all those areas that we are here today. So, J-Dub, man.
Big guy.
Peace, bro. Love you, man.
Been
good. This is just the first of many.
Just getting started, y'all.
Peace.
fractionalized D's, that's a stake. Every moment that you make is digital equity you make. We don't need tradition to own the game, think different. Blockchain, basketball, Bitcoin, American families no longer pimp. Neighborhood tokens turn renters to stakeholders.